Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Americanteers. This is just great. I'm happy to be back. I've been really busy. Today is July the 9th, I think, 2022, which means I have not made a video in over a year. And I definitely got sidetracked last year with changing my career and my lifestyle that it really has taken the whole year to do so. And I'm still in process and transition of going through the changes. And this is all part of the change too, setting up a new setup so I can come back to the Americanteer Movement and start to share, great news about how we can fix America and how we can work with solutions and how we can work with each other and how we can do this with unity and not with hatred. Um, and most of the people that I've run across over this past year and talked to about the Americanteer Movement are, just resistant toward change, and which is really awkward and funny to me because everyone talks about change like it's supposed to happen, it's meant to happen, but when it comes down to the Americanteer Movement and becoming responsible and accountable as an American, people have a whole other perspective. Man, they are totally, they put on their blinders and are like, oh no, the system is fine. The system is not dysfunctional. It's not broken. The two-party system works out perfect for everybody, and which is, another lie. Or they come up with a twisted concept of their perception of what they think America should be doing or what it's like, or they go into the complaining and blame game, which I don't do, and so I think it messes with people's heads because I'm not on the wagon of let's complain, let's blame, let's look at the problem, and that's all. Just look at the problem and talk about the problem and keep talking about it like it's gonna somehow navigate us into a more productive conversation. But talking about the problem does not do that. Talking about the problem is that's really all that's going on. It says that we're just, and I don't participate in that much, but I listen to people talk about the problem all the time. And, they don't want to hear about solutions. They don't want to hear anything outside the box, outside of what they can assess in the two-party system, or outside they can assess with their own, like, culture of people, their own tribe of people, their friends, and, all they really want to do is just echo and repeat what other people are saying and agree with them rather than kind of set that aside and realize that there might be a possibility, it's possible that we could actually fix America with a third party. That's Americanteers. That's us. That's me, you, regular Americans who are not so fixated on hate and trying to prove everybody wrong, everybody right, and I'm right and you're wrong, and and it just goes around in circles like that. And the smarter people are, the more righteous of a stand they make. Like, I am so right, I'm righteousness, and I'm going to argue this with all my might. And that state of righteousness is I know you think it's a very open-minded process, and that's how you take an approach, but it's a very, very, very closed-minded process, and only taking one thing, one concept, and trying to expand it into everything else, like it's a solution, but there is no solution. It's just an extension of the problem, a sidetrack of the problem, and you're trying to get people to agree with you on that rather than trying to think, using our mind, outside the box to focus on new solutions. That's the only way we're going to change America as a group, as a people, as we are. And so if you have a concept or belief or something new about changing America outside of me, then you should just join Americanteers and not say like, oh, I have a different concept so I can't be a part of it. It's like, I have a concept and I will be a part of it so I can bring it to the table and represent parts of it, or whatever parts, things you find that are true or that mean something to you. And expand on that with another group of people who can take it to a better place. It's not like, it's not my best thinking that's going to fix America. It's all of our best thinking. Does that make sense? When I think about changing America and solutions, I come up with all these fabulous, awesome solutions that people have not even begun to think about. And that's only because I'm separated from the whole process. I've separated myself from all that. I've jumped outside the box. I started my own, baseball field in a sense, my own football field, and out there playing football and with the people watching me. But I'm the only player. Everyone's just watching. There's spectators, and just kind of freaked out that change is really possible. And for you to believe that change is not possible is to say, I don't know what you mean by that. It's to say that I just give up. I don't care. I don't have the faith. I don't have the hope. What I have is hatred. What I have is I know who to blame. I know who to complain about. And everybody outside of that is not with me. They're against me because they're not with me in my like-minded way of thinking. And I'm here to say, I'm like you, man. I like your indifference, and I think you should bring that to the table so we can expand on it, so we can just tear it down and say, oh no, this is not going to work. It's a beginning of a conversation, beginning of a dialogue that can go toward and work toward a positive and productive solutions. And as a third group, as a third party, as a third opinion, and we can be very massively strong if we join together instead of like falling apart from each other the way the system wants us to be apart, and playing into that and becoming pawns to political people, pawns to corporations. And we're not really, you got to understand, these our politicians and you think they might think we're regular people, and they're going to treat us like individuals, like we actually have feelings, we have a life, we have bills, we have things to do. They don't, what they're doing, and they think what they're doing is like way, 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 way more important and has more value than my life here on this level. And so they're thinking about other things and other solutions that help them, but not really help me, even though they might try to convince me with a couple of like manipulations and deceptions and lies, saying, oh no, we're here to help you. Like when it comes down to is they're not here to help me. They're here to help themselves and make me think they're here to help me, so I help them help themselves. And that's how it goes, just around and around in circles. Politicians do that to you too. And whether you realize it or not, you are wearing a blindfold, and you're blindly just going where they tell you to go or what to think or what to do, and it's weird to me. It's like, why would you do that? When you have your own way of thinking, you have your own brain, you have your own morals, you have your own ethics, you have your own values, and just because your friends or somebody else thinks a certain way, that you're just going to be on board with them because that's the way we roll. That is, to me, that's a very closed-minded approach. Even though I know you're going to tell me that is the most open-minded approach, I'm here to burst your bubble and say, no, that isn't. That is a very closed-minded approach. And the more you get involved with that, the worse it gets, and the more you start to hate and despise and push away other things that don't go into that little circle of domain of what you're talking about or what you want or what you think. Even though we're all thinking the same, we all want what's best. And so, but what you think is best is, you're thinking like, it's better than what you think. Because I think better, I think what's best. And that's just another, like, a wrong approach, because that's just another righteousness. Like, I'm so right, which means I'm right and you're wrong. And that is not a conversation. That isn't even a dialogue. That's just listen to someone else rant and rave and try to make themselves more important and try to say, like, I know it all. Listen to me. And they don't know anything. They haven't done it. Nobody does anything. And I'm the only person I know in my life, like right now, out of all my friends, all the people I know, I am the only person that I know of that's actually been doing something and is actually doing something today. And I've been doing this for over 8 years. So it's not like I just popped up last week and decided, oh, well, I'm going to talk about some new thing. It's like, no, I wrote this plan up a long time ago, and I've been promoting it and trying to convince people in America that that is the best way to go. And every time I say that or trying to promote that, everybody freaks out and wants to run to the other side or run to a different corner or just put on blinders, pretend like, oh, I didn't hear that. I didn't see that. I don't acknowledge that. So therefore, I'm going to go back to my old way of thinking because I feel comfortable that way. It's a comfort zone. And to do something in the Americanteer movement takes you out of your comfort zone, which that's just the way it is. I mean, that is just change. I don't know what else you think change is supposed to look like or what it's going to take, but it is going to take accountability. It is going to take responsibility. And I'm not going to say, oh, you're responsible or like, I am fully responsible for America. No, it's not what I'm trying to say. It just takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of energy to participate. And once you do that, then you become an Americanteer. You become a part of change. You become a part of a different way of thinking. You can still believe in your party, but you should always open your mind up to the possibility that there could be other solutions. Another, a road to recovery, a road to happiness, building the American dream, and stepping away from all these heavily, deep rooted issues, and standing that ground like it means something, and it does. However, it's not providing solutions, and it's not unifying people. We're still de-unifying people. We're still separating ourselves from others, and that's not a good place to be as an Americanteer. I'm kind of rambling about the movement right now, which is okay, but let me backtrack or go back to where, who I am and what I've been doing too, real fast. And this new shift that I've been working on for the past over a year now is change. It's real change for me at least, which took 125% of all my energy, all my resources, all my free time. I basically stopped social media. I did stop social media over a year ago, and I had to start reading books. I had to start watching YouTube tutorials in order to really change everything in my life. Go from one career to another is not easy. Especially when you just don't have no support and no encouragement. Nobody's there to really help me. I got to figure it out and take this change on my own in the best way I know how. Um, and the more I even look for a mentor or a life coach or something like that outside of me and the real world at these entrepreneurship meetings I go to, they all like seem like they're very smart individuals, but they're not really. They don't really have much. I have more life coaching experience than they do, and it's only because I've had to pay that price. I mean, go back to the recent thing that I'm just talking about. That's just one thing, and I have done this several times throughout my life, but it takes thousands of hours for me to change my life. It doesn't just happen. Nobody gives me a silver platter. Nobody questions me or makes me ask them permission. In fact, everyone tries to ignore me and not believe that I'm actually doing something to change my life. When most people are not doing anything except talking about the past or talking about, complaining and blaming the future and the now instead of working towards something better, which takes an awful lot of work. At least it does for me, because I'm not privileged in any way. I don't have anything. I have to 110% do it on my own, and pay that price on my own. And I can't, and I want to recommend that to anyone. If you want to change your life, get out there and start doing it. It didn't just, I just had to go to the public library and start and check out books, the first month and read books about where I think I'm going and how I want to approach this. It wasn't like somebody sat me down and say, "Oh, here you got to read, this book, that book, this book, and and you're on your way." No, I had to even do the research to figure out what books I had to read, and sometimes they weren't the best knowledgeable books, but I give it a shot, and that's all part of the learning and educational self-education um, process, which is, to me, going through it, I like it. I geek out on it. I nerd out on it. I enjoy it. I enjoy the process. And as much as I will the rewards of what I'm doing, I am enjoying the learning and educational process. And I'm like a sponge. I just can't get enough. The more, and now I even have people, like repeat that information from a year ago. So I have more of an understanding of myself and where my position is in this new movement and my new life and career path. So, if you're watching this and you're thinking like, I don't know what to do, I'm telling you is that's a lie. You know what you need to do. You just don't want to do it. You know exactly where you want to go. You just don't want to do anything about it. You just want people to hand it to you, to present it to you, so you can go around and tell your friends, like, I don't know what happened. It just kind of fell on my lap, and now here I am. I'm a millionaire, of sorts, because, I'm just special. I'm lucky. I didn't have to do anything, and when the real winners are the people who are like, hey man, I had to spend 1,000 and plus 100 hours, or more than that, 5,000, a lot of time. In fact, this past year for me, all my spare time, every spare minute I had, I dedicated toward learning and taking action for my new adventure, and even that was part of the adventure. Which is why I enjoy the process, because I understand that the process is part of the adventure. It's not the end result. I'll eventually get to there, but it's a change. And see, so that's what I want you to do is like, if you're watching this, you feel like, I don't know what to do to change. And I'm here to say you do know what to do. You just don't want to do it, and how do you start to do it? You just get out there and start doing it. You don't talk to people about it. Don't waste your time, trying to convince people of what you want to do. Just start the process. And eventually you will come to your own understanding, where your position is with your own life, and be able to be accountable for it. I mean, that is just a beautiful thing, and that is what an Americanteer is. That's what we do. We're not just ordinary people. We are chosen, man. We are extraordinary people. Very, very extraordinary. And everybody's going to hate you for being extraordinary. Everyone's going to hate you for being special. Everyone's going to hate you for shining your light and up in your vibration, up in your lifestyle. Taking more your life into a different level. And your friends at that time or right now will not appreciate that because no one else is doing it. And I'll actually be surprised if you actually do it myself because I very rarely, in fact, I can't think of the last person I ran into that is showing me that they are like that committed. I mean, everyone is just kind of just there, and they have a lot of knowledge, but they're not taking it anywhere. They're not doing anything. They're not helping. They're trying to help themselves, assess themselves. It's all a little bit of ego and narcissism and vanity, that prevents them from actually stepping outside of themselves, which is what Americanteers do. We actually have to step outside of our own egos. We have to step outside of our own selfish narcissism to create real change and to be really happy with ourselves and the rest of America. And let me tell you, Americans do not like people like us who take charge, who take change and hold on to it and reach for the moon instead of standing on the ground, and do something that's more significant within our life of why we're really even here. Do you have a sense of purpose? Do you have a reason? It's not just to, take what we can from others and how we can up our social status and be all really like cool. That is so, I don't know what it's just living in a selfish life moment. And life is so short. So, and it's going to end, and you're going to realize that you spent all your life doing nothing but being selfish, and that brings, I mean, being selfish is it's the first step to deceiving people, to manipulating people, backstabbing people, to full on lie whenever you want to. I mean, it breeds hate, it breeds bad habits, and the more you do it, the more you think like, oh, everyone is doing it. And I'm like, no, not everyone's a liar. Only people that think they can get away with lying lie all the time because they're getting away with it. But if they knew they were going to get caught lying, even then they might not even care. Because some people that lie the most are really, really good looking people. Really, like you would look at them and say, you would never lie. You're not a liar. You don't look like a liar, and you're going to freak out. Like, you're going to find out that a lot, like 80% of Americans are deceptive and liars, and that includes our family, that includes our friends, that includes coworkers, and people trying to spread more hate or to take from you so they can gain. So because they can't stand the fact that you are growing, that you are rising to the occasion, you are going to the next level, and people want to bring you down, and then the people above you are going to push you down. And so that whole act of adversity with ups and downs and suppression and oppression from the ups, is tough. It's tough. I can see why people are like give up and say like, I can't mentally deal with that. I'm here to say, yes, you can. You just don't know how. And I'll show you how you can deal with it. Keep watching the videos, stay in touch, and open your mind to real change. Open your mind. That's all you have to do. And think about it like love. like real change, like, oh my God, this is going to be a struggle. No, no. Start with the act of love. It's an absolute action of love, and it will be much easier to accept change when you realize that you are acting in love, with love in your heart and intention, even though that may fade in and out, and you'll catch yourself like, oh no, this is not very nice of me. You can always stop yourself and backtrack, go back into being an Americanteer, and do what's right. It's a very simple concept. It's a very simple process. And it's only people that make it layer complications on it because they don't want other people to find out that there are real solutions out there. There are people like me out there talking and who are promoting love, who are promoting unity, and don't want to waste their time talking about problems and talking about blaming people or starting like my own little wagon and for just one issue, because all the issues are tied together. And that's what I don't think people understand, is that they're all kind of one big jumbo mess, and so, and to take one little thing and say, oh, this is where I'm at, is very selfish too, because it's like, looking at the bubble, the massive problem, and saying, well, I can't attack that. And I'm saying, yes, you can, with support, with help, and with other people that are like-minded. We can all attack it, and we can all embrace it. We can all, change America in our own, in a way that makes sense, common sense. And whether Americans accept a common sense way of thinking or not, that's their decision. But we still need to provide that third option. We still need to provide that third opinion. We still need to provide more solutions to let people know that they don't have to be pawns to the political system. They don't have to be money signs for corporations. That we can, as the people, we are in charge. You see, and that's, people don't want to accept that either. They think everyone else is in charge, and that's why they blame and complain. But that's just a sidestep that we can't accept our own responsibility and our own accountability as Americans. So therefore, we allow the government and corporations to make decisions for us, and then complain and blame them for making a bad decision or a wrong decision, when they don't even know how to make the right decision anyways. I mean, they're in a whole other reality than we are. We're actually living a day in and day out, like life. Majority of us are, and they're living life on a pretty good salary, making pretty good money. They have it coming in. They get fed well. They consider themselves a club. The parties do. They don't think of themselves as like, helping Americans or being a part of America. They consider themselves being separated from us and saying like, oh no, we are much more important. We are our own club, and we make decisions for those people. Like, but we are not, but they separate themselves from us. So how can they make decisions for us when they are completely detached from us, and completely think that their worth and their value is on a higher plane, and we'll never understand because we are dumb Americans, and they can play their games, and they can manipulate us in any way they want to. And that is just not fair. That's just not right. And that's been going on for a long time. I mean, that's just politics in the sense. So let's unify. Let's get together. Let's join up. I'm still here. I'm still talking. I'm still standing up for unity and love. And what are you doing? What have you been doing this time I've been gone? Have you done the same thing? I highly doubt it. I mean, you could probably tell me, yes, I have, but I highly doubt it, because it really does take an extraordinary individual. There's no ordinary person that can say, I'm doing this. It's just impossible, because it's having a set of, to go extraordinary from ordinary is to find the now, to find the present, to find your own existence and purpose right now. It's not about your past, not about the future. It's not about who's going to judge you. It's about understanding yourself in the very moment, in the very now, that you can free yourself up to participate, to acknowledge, to have something to say, and to bring something to the table besides the same old echoes of the past. So I could go on and on and on about change, because I've been talking about it for a long, long time. That's why, and so I'm not just talking, I'm not just speaking, and so join me and be a part of it. Why not? What's really working? I mean, join us and then tell us what's working. Tell me that. I know you can tell me what's not working for sure. Everyone can tell me what's not really working or what they dislike about the system, but no one's going to really talk about what they really love and how to change that love into expanding it into another love, which is more about all Americans. So with all that being said, oh, geez, I'm happy to be back. This is awesome. This is great. I'm looking forward to making some more short videos for the Americanteer Movement. I'm honored. It's a privilege to serve, I don't know what I'm serving, a higher frequency. To serve the universe in this way is, I feel privileged my own way. I feel special in my own way. And that's probably why a lot of people dislike me or hate me or want to put me down or shift things around so that other people don't acknowledge me, because they can't handle the fact that I'm actually doing something, that I'm doing something that's real, And so that's my adversity I have to face on my own. I can always use help. I can always use support and encouragement from anyone out there who wants to be a part of it or who wants to just say, hang in there and do what you need to do. I'd appreciate that too. So outside of that, I mean, peace, man. Love. Let's do this. Let's embrace it. We can change the world. It's people like to say that's impossible. It's impossible. And why am I the only one saying that's possible? It's like I'm building a rocket ship to go to the moon, and everyone's like, oh, that's impossible. You will never go to the moon. But even though we've been in the moon several times, everyone tries to act like that's such a new thing. Like we can't, as regular Americans, shoot for the moon, and think bigger and think higher and think way above ourselves and not like make ourselves so like, oh, it's all about me. And it's not about me. It's about us. It's about we creating change. All of us going to the moon. That's what I'm saying, and or I get left alone and I just keep doing my thing, and they might find me floating around the moon somewhere and saying, well, that's a crazy guy that went for the moon with the Americanteer Movement. He shot for the moon, but he didn't quite make it. He almost made it, but he died, he passed away or whatever. And now he's just floating in space around the moon because he shot for the moon. And you know what? That is still, that is the coolest place to be. Everyone thinks like that's a big fail, but it's not a fail. What's failure is you not shooting for the moon. That's what's failure. You not reaching out for the stars and pursuing your dreams with every ounce of energy you have. to make it happen and not say, oh no, I can't make it happen because my parents won't pay for it or I can't make the money to do it. And I'm like, yes, you can. I mean, there's no story anyone can tell me about adversity of life that I will not relate to. Believe me, I have been kicked on, stomped on, stepped on, hurt. I mean, people hurt me all the time, every day, all the time, and that's just the price I pay for being unique. That's the price I pay for being different. That's the price I pay for being different. That's the price I pay for being enlightened and to be on a different frequency and a different vibe. Is that people are going to just dislike me for no reason whatsoever. They're going to try to think of things, but they're very superficial, non-relevant, like taking a little hill and turn it into a mountain, and saying, you didn't say thank you, 3 years ago when I helped you, and therefore blow that out of proportion into like how mean and evil or bad or, the individual I am. But that's just the best they can get because there's nothing else they can say or do that would actually prove the point except for just trying to look for something that they can grasp onto, anything to bring me down. And that is just the lower frequency, lower vibrational people who are always constantly trying to knock me down. And then, of course, there's always people above me who are financially better and more privileged than I am, who are constantly pushing me down, because they don't want me to rise to the occasion. They don't want me to be successful. That would just freak them out because they didn't do anything to be successful. Or maybe they did. Maybe there's a lot of hardworking people out there. But for a lot of people, it was easy. It was easy. Their parents to pay for the college. They had, a family of support and encouragement and a beautiful home to go to college, and they have their mom still cooking them food and doing their laundry and, paying for their cell phone bills and things like that that make things so much easier for people rather than me who is left 100% on my own, doesn't really have a family that I can bank on, and so it's the odds and adversity I relate to. I relate to people in the world of adversity more than I relate to people in the world of privilege too. I know plenty of millionaires, and who are, some of them are nice and some aren't so nice. Some are very greedy, for as much money as they have. It blows my mind. And some are just, regular folks, and you can't even tell they're millionaires. They're just regular guys. And so I don't know where I was going with that just now. I think I was just expressing the difference between people who can have access to all kinds of awesome help, whether that be with family or friends or through college associations, where I'm coming from a place where I don't have any of those things at all. No family, no friends, no money, no college education. I am just coming to you as a real person, as an individual, and trusting that what I'm doing is just the universe's work. I've just been kind of chosen to do this. It's not like I decided to do this for attention, at all. There's a calling. It's been placed on me to do this, and I'm doing my best job. I'm doing the best I can to promote this change. That's even beyond me. I mean, I can't even tell you it's like about me because it's way beyond me. In fact, I won't even know what I'm saying on this video until I review it much later. When I watch it and I'll see what I'm talking about, then I'll know. I was like, wow, what are you talking about? And then I'll watch it and I'll say, oh, that's what you're talking about. And it all makes sense. But before I jump in front of the camera, I don't have a script. I don't have a headline to say, oh, this is it. Sometimes I have a general descriptive in my mind, but even that can change in like that. I can think like, oh, I'm going to talk about this, and jump in front of the camera and end up talking about something completely different. And I just go with it because it is the law of the universe. It's not about me controlling and making things happen. It's about me enjoying the process and going through the motions and taking the action I need to take to make this happen. That's all. It's just an action. And thank you for your time. Thank you. I'm happy to be back. I'm looking forward to making some more videos this year in 2022. I'm still very, very busy and going through my transition, but now that I've been doing this for a little over a year, I'm starting to free up some time to jump back into the Americanteer, and I've been missing it a lot too. And I hope I even do something even better. It's like join a gym, which I don't know if that's going to work out or not, but I hope it does because I could really use a place to go to and work on my physical body, a lot more every day. It's just, I've been doing this a long time. Life is taking its toll on me, and I don't want to lose it. I really want to live much longer so I can keep doing this. All right, man. I am for sure out of here. Peace, love. Have a great day, guys. I mean, have an awesome day. And we'll talk later, okay? All right. Ciao.